school, and he's starting to play looking for St Mary's this month. His favourite player is Phil Cantillon. His hobbies are rugby and computers. The teams this afternoon for the Vikings: full-back Paul Aitchison, the back line Chris Percival, Jason Demetriou, Adam Hughes and Chris Giles. Half-back Daniel Flame in the unaccustomed number 6 shirt alongside scrum half Ryan Sheridan. And the pack: Robert Relf, Shane Millard, Julian O'Neill, Anthony Farrell, Steve McCurry and Simon Finnegan. On the bench: Leon Bird, Ryan McDonald, Dan Potter, David Mills and Michael Stout. With me is Ronnie Hoof from St Helens. Ronnie, if you'd like to name the St Helens team.
Yes, a very young Saints team this afternoon, Gary. Kirkpatrick a full-back with Rowlands, Maiden, Kilgallen and Lloyd, the three-quarters, with Picton and Anderson, the half-backs. Jones, Fast and Edmondson in the front row, with Bennett, May and Wilkin the back three. And on the interchange bench we've got Costello, Brown, Williams, Kilshaw, Hill, Johnson and Hughes. So Saints, we know it's a friendly, Gary. Saints are away this weekend over in France in the Challenge Cup. I know you were playing Dewsbury, but the coach Ian Millwood's named a very young side with only about 4 or 5 first team combatants.
Yes, I think it's understandable, I suppose. There's a bit of disappointment in Widnes as Shane Millard makes a break. Had a very good game against Wigan on Wednesday night in the Dennis Betts testimonial, which the Vikings won by 20 points to 16. That's a great kick and what a fantastic chase. It's been called. Was it knocked on? Well, it was knocked on. 4 Widnes players in the chase. The poor young St Helens lad didn't have a chance really. I think it was Simon Finnegan that went over with the ball in the end, but the referee judges it was a knock-on, and it is Mr Kirkpatrick, by the way, today's official.
Yes, we had him Monday at Nosey Road, Gary, for the cross-court challenge, Saints versus Sale Sharks, which the Sharks came through 41 points to 39. They did the business in the first half, Saints did the business in the second half. Perhaps not as well as we should have done, but that's how it goes, isn't it? Anyway, Dave Fass in possession for the Saints. A more or less full-strength side as far as Widnes are concerned, as John Wilkin, recent young acquisition from up the Hull KR club, puts it upfield. Aitchison, a former Saints player, catches the ball, and Saints are penalised for going over the top. And referee Kirkpatrick awards the Vikings the penalty. It's bitterly cold here, Gary, today. We're just a bit lower than gantry level. A great advantageous spot, if that's the word. And Widnes in possession, pressing again. Saints will have the work cut out today to hold them out.
It was a silly penalty to give away because it was a great tackle by Phil Anderson on Aitchison, and I think that's Anthony Farrell on the there. He's lost his head for the minute. Like the headless horseman. Great ball, good running by McCurry. Millard again goes from half-back, looking for support, gets the support. Sheridan does well to evade the tackle and steps away. Sheridan, great chance to score, he's still going. Got down and last ditch tackle. Millard tries to worm his way over. No, it was never done, and it's a turnover. Well, it was a great attack by the Vikings, but good last-ditch defence by St Helens. Mr Kirkpatrick just gets everybody on side. I was just saying before, Lonnie, it's understandable why Saints have got such a young side out with all the games they've got coming up and the travelling and so on. But I think the Widnes players, as well as the fans, disappointed. It's a no-win situation for the Vikings, because if they get beat here today, then obviously that will be bad for morale. But if they win, it probably won't be a great feat.
Yeah, you're probably right there. The players still need match practice. I mean, we've had a game at Barrow with a lot of the youngsters playing. We've played Sale, obviously here today against Widnes. We know it'll be a different kettle of fish when we play in the league, but the lads still need match practice, and there's nothing like that, is there? You know, you played Wigan midweek, had a good win, about 4 points victory against Wigan. I mean, any victory against Wigan is a good one, isn't it? And you know, you've been in South Africa, so you've had a bit of good pre-season build-up. Saints have had warm weather training in Lanzarote for the main team members, but a lot of these youngsters obviously playing for maybe spots throughout the season. Saints with a small squad, around about 20, 23 players, I would imagine, and all places up for grabs. You never know with the injury or anything like that. Wilkin puts it through, deft kick, but just a little too deep, too much beef on the ball. We're talking about 5 minutes have gone, Gary, and the Vikings will start with a tap from the centre of the 25.
Or the 22, as we call it in the modern age, Ronnie. 22-metre line, is it a 20-metre line these days? 25-yard line. They still use all the money in St Helens, don't they, I think? So it's the Vikings on the attack. Good defence by St Helens. O'Neill, I think, underneath that. Well, he's lost his head as well. Penalty given and quickly taken. Mr Kirkpatrick wants a word with somebody. Jones, the number 8, being spoken to. I think judge to have deliberately tried to impede O'Neill then by pulling his shirt over his head. Steve McCurry, great charge by McCurry. Millard, Ralph, good hands by the winners forwards. Great ball out by Daniel Frame. It's a chance, it must be a try in the corner. And Personal goes in for the Vikings. After 7 minutes of play, good hands. It's a well-worked move from this side. Good play by Robert Ralph. And a great ball out by the makeshift number 6, Daniel Frame. Widnes, of course, without a recognised first team stand-off at the moment. Steve Carter having injured his ankle, going in for an ankle reconstruction operation. And, of course, as I mentioned on Wednesday, Craig Weston having to go back to Australia due to a family illness. And once again, I'm sure everybody connected with the Vikings will wish well for him and his family. It's a sad loss for the Vikings. Good start for Widnes. Just what they would want. Get points on the board early on. Kick comes in. Adam Hughes sails over, fantastic kick by Hughes, and the Vikings 6-0 up.
Well, all they had to do, Gary, wasn't it? Transfer the ball. He was awarded the penalty. They kicked it up, a drive in, and then they just had to move it out wide. Overlap on the far side, and no problem, as you said, Percival in for the try. Only a couple of minutes before they possibly could have done that. They should have left the ball, put it out wide, even though it was on the 6th tackle when Sheridan went through. Then Millard took it and tried to go on his own. If the ball had been moved out wide, they could have had points on the board obviously before that. But 6 points to 0, and Widnes pressing again, and it looks pretty bleak here, doesn't it? It's going dark.
It is going dark. I think the weather has turned again. It was quite a nice day yesterday. The pitch is in taking some hammer as well, suffering of course with the football. Well, it came off the St Helens player initially, but then Adam Hughes knocked it into touch. He's either a forward pass or a knock on or touch off a Widnes player. Take your pick.
Yeah, per many 8 from 10 we usually do, don't we? But there we go. Is that a hailstorm? It sounds like it, doesn't it, lad? But I'm glad we're up here. The Saints have the possession. They trail by 6. They move it to the left. Kirkpatrick linking up in the line. Named at full-back. Edmondson is the captain. Widnes penalised for offside. Saints take it quickly. The referee's not happy. has he got to wait for the Widnes side to be back on side? He might have changed his mind though, but he didn't. Kevin Picton finds touch over on the far side. Here at the Halton Stadium. Don't forget, you with Micron Video bringing you all today's action in this friendly game with myself, Ron Hoof, and Gary McGrath championing the Widnes cause. Yeah, the pitch pretty cut up, as you say, Gary. Football being played, you know, that round ball game that we don't bother much about. But it's a pressing, 10 metres short of the line. Widnes have to tackle. These youngsters now, they want to do well. Impress Ian Millward, the Saints coach. Looked like Phil Anderton there, just losing his footing. Saints again, captain Mark Edmondson. Centre field, drives it up, last one of the sequence. Widnes urge to get behind their own line. Saints spread it, Anderson dabs it through. Widnes have the ball, is it over the line? It is. A very astute kick there from Anderson. Widnes spectators don't like it, they think he's in the field of play. Gary's shaking his head here. The touch judge is on, Mr. Hawley on the far side. Well, it took him a while to get on there, didn't he? But whether the Widnes player, I think, may have spoken out to turn to him, Gary.
Well, unless Percival moved from here and over the long way away, it certainly looked as if the ball was in the field of play. Now, either the touch judge is just telling that to Mr. Kirkpatrick, or somebody said something to the touch judge and he's going to complain about it. But I know you've got to keep your discipline, Ronnie, but I just think sometimes when officials get it so badly wrong, it's understandable why players have a moan about it.
Well, I can, yeah, no, they come under some stick. I mean, whatever happens, I mean, they're doing a job, and we all have our own opinion of what they're supposed to do. Whether there's a new directive, because they're going to have zero tolerance if anybody speaks out of turn. Well, let's, you know, we have a good game for discipline, Gary, haven't we, in rugby league. But I mean, Mr. Kirkpatrick, he's been abused for years and he's never bothered. So, but that's just the nature of the beast, isn't it? But Widnes drop out. Anderton up centre field. Now Saints. Mike Bennett. He moves it to the right. 20 metres short. Trailing by 6. John Wilkin. And please excuse us if we do get it wrong this afternoon with the numbers. As Edmondson drives it up. One of the regular first team players. I mean, we are supposed to be commentators, we're not supposed to have good eyesight, are we? Just same as the referees, but we'll do our best. But it's pressing. 10 metres short, good ball. Good tackling though, super defence. Super defence by Widnes, and it was on the 6th tackle. The turnover, the Vikings have the ball in their own 10 metre area, and it's up to Saints now to try and contain them up at that end.
Good spell there for St Helens. They 2 consecutive attacks on the Widnes line, but the Vikings making good ground in the initial tackles of this set of 6. Sheridan just organising his men. Millard decides to go himself. Short side, he has McCauley in support. Julian O'Neill. Great ball. Was it forward? It doesn't matter because Mr. Kirkpatrick's let it go on. It looked initially like a great ball. Bit of holding down, and it's got to be penalised. I think Mr. Kirkpatrick with no option there. The John Kirkpatrick, St Helens number 25 fullback, was certainly slowing the Widnes attack down. We will make mistakes with the numbers. I know I made a few against Wigan on Wednesday night. Widnes had black shirts with red numbers on, and it was almost impossible to see. It's a bit clearer today though. Sheridan, nice ball inside. Oh, it's been lost. O'Neill tried to get the pass out, it was never done. And it was early in the tackle count, a mistake by Widnes. And now they look to keep St Helens here.
Yeah, big Julian O'Neill, former Saints player, usually safe pair of hands. As you say, Gary, looked as though he was trying to release it. Got a favourable bounce, and now John Wilkin. Up the flank, quite muddy on the flanks there. Saints withstanding the pressure. Lovely ball from O'Neill. Not usually, well, we're not used to part of his play. Big Jules used to drive it up, and then we're not used to him releasing when he's was with his spell at St Helens. But Neil Kelly, the coach. And now the Saints put it upfield. Widnes as the hailstone comes down again, and a pretty sparse crowd considering it's a local derby, Gary.
Yes, I think as much as anything else, obviously the weather won't help, but I think people knew that St Helens weren't bringing the weakened side, and I suppose spectators of both sides sometimes a bit reluctant to pay full money for that. But the ones that are here, I'm sure, will have an entertaining afternoon, although not on that occasion as Widnes spill the ball again.
Yeah, Saints scoop it up quickly. Still just trailing by 6 points. We've had 16 minutes of the game gone in atrocious weather conditions. Saints now spill the ball. Widnes capitalise on it. We played last Monday at Nosey Road. That was a terrible evening, and well, the ball there being knocked forward. What's the referee going to give? Is he going to give Saints head and feed? Has he ruled the advantage to have taken place, or will he give it Widnes? Well, the arms are in the air. We don't know. No, he's just well, give it Saints. Yes, Anderson round the back. Saints moving left. Kevin Picton looking to unload. Just hear that hailstone come down here, my word. I bet it's peppering round these lads' ears, and well, even some of the speckies are moving from the lower positions, but the Saints now moving it upfield, 15 metres short. Looks like Wilkin twists, turns, drives 5 metres now from the line, from the Vikings line. Can Saints get on the scoreboard? Anderson turns it back inside. Edmondson, captain for the afternoon. Last one of the sequence. Anderson kicks through. Yes, he's there. He's got the touchdown. The referee's right on the job. He points to the spot, and there's nothing wrong with that. Young Phil Anderson grubbers it through, followed it up. Widnes were taken by surprise, and Saints on the board. It's 4 now. It's going to be 6. It's right under the sticks.
When the pitch is just like a mud bath. Sails over, 6 apiece. But I was just thinking only when that hailstone started coming down. Can you imagine? I know the Widnes players will go about the job very professional, but I'm sure in the back of their mind they must be wondering what on earth they're doing out here on a day like this.
Yes, and I tell you, I mean, we are approaching obviously the 8th season of summer rugby, and we don't get very good summers, as we know, but over the years, and I'll tell you something, I mean, Phil, your cameraman from today, and I mean, we all know that over the years we've had some terrible specs, I said, covering rugby matches, but Widnes a great kick-off. Saints weren't up to it. They hadn't moved up. The ball's loose. Saints have it now. The referee said it was knocked forward by Widnes. I think it's going to be Saints head and feed. It looks that way. That seems to be the indication. It is Saints head and feed. Yeah, Widnes must have knocked it forward. We have, over the years, we've been to some cold holes, I'll tell you. Halifax and Oldham come to mind, where it's a lot of degrees below at their pitches. But we don't get that much now. We're actually going in shirt sleeves occasionally to Halifax. But Saints with Kirkpatrick have the ball. It's now with Picton. There's going to be limited or unlimited interchanges, I'm led to believe. Saints have 7 subs, Widnes have named 6. We're not going to try and even keep up with them. We'll just try and concentrate on the game. 6 points apiece it is. John Kirkpatrick in possession. Widnes lining out very well. Strong running, looks like Edmore. Taking it up, centre field. Once again, Anderton kicks it through, puts pressure, looking for a favourable bounce. Widnes take it cleanly, but there's 3 Saints round him.
Luckily for Widnes, it was a favourable bounce as well. Percival couldn't get to it before the bounce. Thankfully, it bounced straight into his arms. But Saints are playing well. Widnes to break down this defence, although I think the conditions, as much as anything, playing a part in that. Widnes, of course, with Dion Bird, Ray McDonald, Dan Potter, Mills, Stout and Holmes on the bench. Great kick, good chase by Hughes. He's not going to get there first, but he makes the tackle. Well, eventually, good chase by Giles as well, who scored a spectacular strike against Wigan. Well, he's penalised Giles for coming in. It's always a difficult one to call, that, Ronnie. I think Winger wants to make sure that the tackle's completed, and I don't know if the referee has shouted held or not.
Yes, I'll agree with you though. You've got to make sure. I know it was Hughes that came in, and he's no duffer, is he? He came in, he effected the tackle, and then Chris Yard, the former St Helens player, came in to make sure the man didn't get up and run away. It's a difficult one, but he was penalised for it. It took a while to make his decision, did the referee, but that's the one he made. Saints awarded the penalty, and now I've got to build up the process again of trying to breach this Widnes line, and there didn't look a lot in that, Gary, for me, for my money, but we bow to the referee's superior eyesight. We often question their eyesight and the parentage, just in a purely jocular sense, but there again, he picked it quickly. He's got to set the standard for the season. He's going to be doing Super League games throughout the season. The ball back in Widnes' hands. It's been knocked forward both ways, so I would imagine, Gary, head and feet to the Vikings. That's what he's pointed to.
Yes, it was a big hit. Technically, I think he may have even been entitled to penalise the Saints player that picked the ball up for offside, but we won't quibble over that. Bit of a juggling act for the second or two from Jason Dimitri, who played stand-off against Wigan and took a knock. Widnes fans not happy that Saints were onside. A great ball. It's going to be a try under the sticks. Oh, what a superb pass. Aitchison in support, but not needed. Lovely ball and a great finish. Well, he's given the forward pass. Did the touch just come on? Well, it looked like a great pass, but even if it David Mills is coming on during all this, but even if it was a forward pass, it took him half an hour to make up his mind.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. It was a bit late, even though I didn't think that Aitchison was obstructing the Saints player in his efforts to try and catch the Widnesian. But whether it occurs or not is a different kettle of fish. It wasn't given. He went over there, and referee Kirkpatrick, yes, certainly took his time there, didn't he, Gary? But David Mills on a strong bench, very strong bench, haven't you? With the Bird, McDonald, Potter, Mills, and Stout and Holmes. That I don't recognise the names, but there we go. The referee moves in, a big hit. That'll warm them up. Obviously, it was a little high. Stand-off Kevin Picton finds touch on the opposite side to where we are filming, and Saints about 30 metres out from the line, all level. 25 minutes gone. Once again, the referee moves in. Somebody's going to be spoken to. And it's unlike Julian O'Neill to be brought out, just gets on with his work, and obviously something happened there. I didn't quite pick that up, Gary. Did you? Can you enlighten me?
I think he's pulled him for a high tackle. I don't know. I think that's what he was.
Yeah, that's what he's just indicating now. Not like Julian O'Neill, that, but the touch finder, not to gaining much forward momentum, but Saints still have this set of 6 to build upon. Chris May being forced towards the touchline. I'm quite sure that probably the Saints' first team squad, which quite a few of them here today will be glad that they're not out there in this weather, atrocious weather conditions. But Saints are pressing 10 metres from the witness line. Anderton, drop-off ball, Wilkin puts it out, Saints player can't take it, it's still loose, Widnes come up with it. The referee rules the knock on, obviously, as there wouldn't have been any advantage to Widnes with the ball going further back after it being knocked by Saints. Scrum down, head and feed to the Vikings, Sheridan to feed.
Well, Widnes still finding it difficult to mount an attack. Mind you, very similar to the game against Wigan on Wednesday night. Defence is on top. Both sides find it difficult to break the defensive line. Then Widnes came up on Wednesday with a couple of good ones and finished off in spectacular fashion when young Chris Giles scored one of the best tries I've seen for a long time. Penalty to the Vikings. Sheridan just talking to his forwards before finding touch, urging them on. O'Neill makes a great 10 metres onto the 20-metre line. Mills makes another 10 metres. Good work by the Widnes forwards, driving the Saints defence back. McDonald has come on for somebody, for Julian O'Neill's gone off. Sheridan again throws the dummy. Now McDonald, is he going to be involved? Baseball, I think, to Daniel Frame. Good work. Farrell steps inside. Can he get to the line? Oh, great work by Farrell. He's over the line. Anthony Farrell gets the ball down. Again, a good ball by Daniel Frame. He's got a good pair of hands and doing a good job in the number 6 jersey today. Widnes not playing in the squad numbers. I think that will be the first time for that will be next week in the Challenge Cup game against Dewsbury. Adam Hughes should just notch this one over, and the Vikings will take a 12-6 lead 10 minutes before half-time. I think the players, more especially the fans, deserve credit for braving these Arctic conditions, and I'm looking forward to going in and having my fantastic beef bath at half-time, courtesy of Mr. Hoof.
Yeah, don't say I'm doing my bit, you know, for missionary work down here in Widnes. You know, you need all the help you can get. Oh, he's missed it, my word! Once again, should have tagged that on, shouldn't he? 12-6 it should have been, now it's 10.
Yes, I'm sure that the Vikings will hope to do that. Myself, I probably think top 6 is again going to be a bit of a struggle. I'd settle for 6th, 7th or 8th, to be honest, this season. I think we've got to consolidate, but again, Kelly's made some excellent signings, and Andy Hay played on Wednesday against Wigan. He had a good game. Sheridan obviously looks the part. This fella now kind of play the ball for me. He's going to be a great signing. Shane Millard, fantastic game against Wigan. He's got everything. He can tackle. He's got the speed and passion behind to play the ball, and he takes the ball on himself. That doesn't, of course, mean that Phil Cancelon's not going to be involved. He's been a great servant to the Widnes club and still will be in the reckoning for that number 9 jersey. It's going to be a great battle between Cancelon and Millard this season for that hooking position. Great kick, high, it's a good chase. Giles and Hughes there, but well taken by Steve Rowlands, and he did well to take the tackle there.
Yes, he took it well, didn't he, with Giles and Hughes bearing down on him. In awkward conditions, it's a swirling wind, there's no danger about that. But Saints come away with it. Gareth Lloyd unloads it. Dave Fast, acting half-back. Saints moving centre field. Widnes penalised for breaking too quickly. I mean, both sides can be guilty of breaking too quickly, can't they? But Kevin Picton just coming off for the Saints. He's been replaced. I think it's John Hill that's come on for him. But a penalty awarded to the Saints. Mark Edmondson, big hit by Farrell. One-on-one, picked him up, dumped him back. Hill with his first touch. The referee wants him back. Looks right and left. Saints take it on the short side. Mike Bennett. Good forward momentum. 10 points to 6 the score. We're talking about 8 minutes left of this first half. And we'll not be sorry to get inside for a bit of a warmth. Last one of this sequence. Saints play it. John Wilkin angles it for the corner, puts pressure on the Widnes player who's forced in goal and over the dead ball line. Drop out from between the sticks. Vikings seem to have started off like a house on fire, obviously in the early minutes, and as the game settled down, the Saints youngsters have come into their own, only conceding 2 tries. Kirkpatrick takes it well, slips it to Edmo. Uncharacteristically not wearing headgear. He's lost the ball in the tackle. Bit of disappointment there right on the first tackle, Gary. Just penalised now, talking out of turn. Widnes tried to take it quickly. The referee, obviously, this may be the new ruling where he's got to make sure that they're back, because penalties were taken very quickly last season, sometimes too quickly, but that's trying to catch the opposition off guard. But Widnes have the possession.
Good chance for the Vikings now, just 7 minutes before half-time. I must admit, I've never been in favour of the quick tap penalty. I think the players should be made to get onside. Just tidies the game up a little bit. Sheridan, dummies inside to Mills. I think he was hoping that somebody else was going to be coming on the outside there, but he's caught in possession. Has to take the tackle. Not the best play of the ball, but Millard makes the best of a bad job. Aitchison, who had a good game against Wigan also. Short side attack. Dave kicks through. It's a good kick. Hughes is chasing. Well, great judgment by John Kirkpatrick. He just shepherded the ball over the line. He knew that the Widnes players were chasing, but he had the confidence, and he was there just in case to could have put boot to the ball if necessary, but he did well and judged it perfectly.
Oh, lost possession. Yes, certainly did. Lost possession right again on the first tackle. Saints forced to defend again. Deep, obviously, Widnes 20 metres from the Saints line. They unload the ball. It looked suspiciously forward from our angle, but a chance now for Widnes to extend the lead.
Great chance for the Vikings. I think that the youth in the St Helens side there, you know, it's a learning curve for some of those young players, but they've lost the ball twice now on the first tackle, and they give Widnes a great chance here. McDonald, well, he nearly knocks the goalpost over. It's wobbling and shaking all over the place. Sheridan, I think he felt his line was a bit too flat there. It's knocked down, it's knock on given, it would have been back to 1. I think it was John Hill, the big substitute forward, who knocked it down. Sheridan to Flame. Oh, it was a good ball. Kamitu was going at pace, but just cannons off his chest, and it's getting a bit scrappy now, Ronnie. I suppose it's understandable in the cold and wet conditions, but not exactly the most exciting of times at the moment.
No, you're right, but it is brightening up a little bit, and yeah, the pass, it looked like a bullet pass that. It certainly cannoned off his body and went forward, just as Widnes were in an ideal attacking position. Mike Bennett. Wilkin was on his shoulder. Bennett gets up, the tackle wasn't completed. Oh, and Aitchison with a haymaker there. The former Saints player. Had some good seasons with St Helens, did Paul Aitchison, back where he started here at Widnes. Good seasons here, good seasons at Widnes, good seasons at Wigan, I should say good seasons at St Helens. Finish off his career here, Saints with a player down there, injured, as they still have the possession. Anderton, lost Saints for the corner, Aitchison got to get back. Can he get the ball? Oh, he makes sure, doesn't he? I mean, if it's on the floor, it's always a bit dicky for big Paul Aitchison. It was bobbling, bouncing about, and he made no mistake there. Actually got good contact, and it's about 3 streets back, just at the other side of the stadium, nearly over to Fiddler's Ferry, Gary.
Well, somebody's going to come out and find a free rugby ball in the back garden, so good luck to them, and I'm sure that they'll make the best use of it in Widnes. It's one of the things I noticed when we got into Super League. You started to see the kids out in the streets again, throwing a rugby ball about instead of kicking the round ball and playing on the computers. And that was nice to see last season. Not sure there'll be too many out today though.
No, you're right there. And I don't know whether we're going to turn out for the second half. We might go behind glass. It all depends. But John Hill for the Saints. Fast at dummy half. Going to take it short side. John Wilkin. Moves it out. Chris May. Big second rower. Moving out onto the flanks. Must have lost the possession. The referee in. Let him feed into the Vikings. About 2 minutes left. Our cameraman tells us we've got about 3 on our watch, but we know there's a bit of a time difference in Wigan as towards Widnes, but we'll take it from there. Widnes have the possession. They lead by 10 points to 6. They're looking to get more points before the half-time interval.
Yes, I think it would be nice. The fans would like to see another score for the Vikings before half-time. It'd be nice to go in at 16-6 and just give the Vikings players a bit of breathing space when they go in for a nice hot cup of tea or whatever it is they do inside. Remember one game a few years ago in the quarter-final of the Cup up at Hull Kingston Rovers when it was snowing and players had frostbite within the showers at half-time. It was that bad. Penalty for the Vikings. St Helens. I'm sure part of Mr Millward's game plan will be to tell these youngsters to slow the game down as much as possible, lie on, break the Widnes attacks up by whatever methods possible. Mr Kirkpatrick penalising them for it. Mills pushing for the line, he gets to the 6-yard box of the football pitch. Millard, short side, Sheridan, Aitchison on the dummy, McCurry. Oh, great ball out by Steve McCurry. Well, it was like a stroll in the park for Steve McCurry. Aitchison went through on the dummy. Steve McCurry took a great pass and then just held the ball out in one hand, held the tackling player off, and flicked a lovely pass out to Adam Hughes. And it was bread and butter stuff for the Vikings. That's the score that I was talking about. The fans will be pleased now at half-time. A respectable scoreline for the Vikings at 14-6. I wouldn't make any prediction about the kick. Takes his time, Hughes. It's a difficult kick. Just a few centimetres off the touchline. He's got the height, but not the distance. He was off target anyway, so it'll just be 14 points to 6 as we come up to the half-time. Who's there?
Yeah, well worked try by Widnes, moving the ball quickly as they know that's moved it right across, created a slight overlap. Saints couldn't take it. Steve Maiden here coming off injured right as the half-time hooter goes. 7th minute, it was Percival for a try. Hughes goaled it, 6-0 to the Vikings. 17th minute, Anderton scored, followed the ball through, Picton converted it, that made it 6-6. Then tries from Faddle in the 28th minute, right under the stick, should have been converted, made it 10-6. And then Hughes right at the death, 14-6, half-time here at the Holton Stadium.
So the team's out for the second half. We come back out of our box, courtesy of Widnes Vikings. Thank you very much. Not on the gantry today due to adverse weather conditions and various other reasons. had a lovely warm at half-time, I'm sure the players have. The weather has actually now brightened up a little bit. It's still cold, of course, but at least there's no precipitation of any sort. A bit of sunshine as well. Tim Holmes has come on at full-back instead of Paul Aitchison, as he did against Warrington. I think he came on at full-back and had a very good game against the Wolves. Final one for the Vikings, and could be the first test for Tim Holmes. High kick, takes it well on the full. Not a great chase by Saints, although the players do get there eventually. Holmes tackled 30 metres out from the witness line. Finnegan in that tackle. That's great work by Dimitriou. Powerful play by the witness centre. McDonald. Great forward momentum from Brian McDonald. A bit of holding down there against St Helens, slowing down the play. Probably their best option this afternoon. Sheridan. Witness going them sideways, but it's working. They've got down the Saints defence. And a chance on the outside. Holmes. Good tackle. Holmes did well. Just cut inside in time. Avoided going into touch. Sheridan kicks through. Not the greatest of kicks, but turns over possession on the St Helens line. And I think Neil Kelly will be happy with the opening play for the Vikings in this second half.
Yeah, good play, moving right up the field, Gary. Holding Saints right on the line. They've got to try and clear it. 14-6 the half-time score. And even though Ian Millward is obviously the head coach, I would imagine Dave Lyon and Kieran Purtill will have had a lot of input in this side with the A-team and the academy, and also Sean Casey, who is Dave Lyon's assistant. The ball kicked downfield, chased by the Saints, but Chris Percival puts the welly down, moves to the wing, rather boggy out there, and Saints meet him.
Good pick up by Percival. It was a very good chase by St Helens. He did well, and also I think made the right decision not to try and take the outside there, because he would have slid into touch in the tackle, no doubt about that. But the Vikings on the attack. Sheridan feeds Mills. Mills just makes the extra couple of metres. Short side attack. Well, Sheridan was coming on a sort of a drop off, but it was a flicked out pass from Shane Millard. And although he looked to have coped with it, couldn't keep possession. And witness turnover the ball inside the set of six for the first time in half.
Yeah, Saints have the possession. Three witness tacklers come in to meet him. They move up quickly. Both sets of players have been moving quickly off the mark. Mr. Kirkpatrick was picking them early in the piece. Whether he will for the second 40. Dave Fass on to Hill. Saints move it to the right. Now the kick comes downfield. No problem. Holmes should be able to gather it. Saints chase is coming on, but he looks quite a speedy guy, this lad. But taken down at the first tackle.
He's a very good prospect, young Holmes. Percival does well. He comes in and takes up the work. As does Giles off the opposite wing, and the witness wingers do that very well together. In every game they're keen to look for work. Blindside attack. Well, Curry pushed over as he went to play that ball. No action taken. McDonald, great work by Ryan McDonald. 10 metres made. Final one for the Vikings on. They forced a kick from inside their own half. Sheridan just dinks one over the top. Not a particularly testing kick, but it's a very good chase. As we often say, it's the chase that makes the kick.
Yes, Gareth Lloyd took it well. Took it in field. Widnes met him. The Vikings pressing up. no doubt Neil Kelly will want a bit more effort from his side, considering the youth in the opposition. He would consider they should be able to do much better. Just over 5 minutes of the second half gone. And Neil Kelly down there on the touchline, just hoping to make a substitution as the last one of this set of 6 comes from the Saints. Interception, well, he went for it. He went for the interception, Saints were coming through, the players collided. Witness spectators feel a bit aggrieved, but I don't know, I think that was just a reaction. I wouldn't say he was taken in possession. Gary, he just looked as though he jumped for it, and both the Saints player and the Vikings man just got intertwined. He's given scrum down head and feet to the Saints. Saints come up with the possession as you'd expect. 10 metres inside Widnes territory. Strong forward run, well stopped. Blind side again, ducks under the tackle. Does the young Saint. Wants to play quickly, fast. Now with Jones. Saints are pressing, last one of the sequence. Kirkpatrick ticks it through, it's touched a Widnes player. They have the possession, drop on it, that was on the 6. Now can the Saints hold them down there at that end? Strong running, Percival trying to bring it away. Was it Percival trying to bring it away? Substitute coming on now, Gary. Unnumbered.
Stout. Yeah, I think that's young Michael Stout. Well, what? I don't know what that's for. Penalty to the St. Helens.
Yeah, the referee there, obviously things happening. He has awarded the Saints a penalty. 15 metres from the line, they press up, they're approaching the line. Can they drive forward? They trail by 8. This will put them in within 2, a converted try. Liam Williams, I think they're trying to burrow under the tackle. No, but, well, yes. It looks like the one on his back anyway there. No, it's not, it's Anderton. I think Anderton back on. Anderton, it was the standoff that went off, wasn't it? Kevin Picton, I do beg your pardon. Anderton there that came perilously close. Last one of the sequence now. Saints taking centre. Pass. Kirkpatrick. Can't get through. He's held. Turnover, 6 tackled. The ball has been released. The referee will award the turnover. We'll have to pay more attention this time just in case Saints get another penalty, Gary.
Well, I've got no idea what the last penalty was for. I was too busy looking at the substitutions. The Widnes fans not happy that St. Helens players are getting onside. Jason Demetriou makes some good yards for the Vikings. McDonald, great work, knocks off the first attempt to tackle. Again, Saints slowing the play down to good effect. Demetriou kicks through. Percival had gone down the back. It's a bit of a tester for Kirkpatrick because of the chase by Percival, and Percy does well to bring him down by the elbow.
Well, the substitute there, Holmes, certainly looked to me as though it flopped on Kirkpatrick. The tackle was made. The referee didn't pick it, or the touch judges. Oh, and a bit of a haymaker there as Gareth Lloyd, I think it is, came away with the possession. So just warming up a bit. 10 minutes of the second half gone. No addition to the half-time score of 14 points to 6. Anderton again, well obstructed. The referee doesn't see it that way. Wilkin collides with the referee as well. Or somebody's been brought out. Well, he's having a word with somebody now. Who's he bringing out? But he's having a word with Wilkin. He collided with the referee. Whether he said something as he was going through. But I thought Anderton was impeded in his efforts to get the ball. He's awarded a penalty to Widnes for speaking out of turn. Obviously thinking that Anderton was impeded. Wilkins said something, the referees took exception to it. Penalty the Vikings.
Chance for the Vikings to attack. Be nice to see them get some early points on the board here. The fans are having a bit of a sing-song, both sets of fans, which is nice to see. The fans getting into the spirit of things, even though perhaps the game isn't the most exciting of spectacles. Oh, good ball, flat ball from Sheridan. Makes to go across the line, bit in the style of Andy Gregory and Sean Edwards. The pass is intercepted. One pass too many for the Vikings. From Mills, and the Saints come away in possession again.
Yeah, good attacking position for the Vikings. Big Mills driving through. The ball attempted to be released, and the Saints came up with it. Still pegged deep in their own half. A lot of hard work to be done, and not the best of pitches to do it. Had some atrocious weather, not just today, but in the last few weeks. And it doesn't help when it's obviously a utility pitch as well. Forward pass. Saints trying to launch their attack, trying to miss move, trying to force the ball out. But it wasn't to be. Bruce Johnson coming on for the Saints. Widnes with a turnover.
It wasn't a bad idea, but it's at the end of the day criminal to turn the ball over 10 metres inside your own half when you could be turning it over in the opposition 20-metre line. Good ball, but again Widnes lose possession, and I think the players and the coaching staff will be a little bit concerned about the amount of possession that the Vikings have lost this afternoon. The conditions now not actually that bad, and maybe that will be something that Widnes are going to look at. The player in possession is injured. Widnes players signal that, so there'll be a stoppage in play. Having played 13 minutes of the second half, still 14 points to 6 to the Vikings.
Yeah, the handling not too sparkling, but it is bitterly cold, and the lads obviously, even though they're doing some running about on there, they need ball in hand, don't they? And it's not ideal. We've got, as far as Saints are concerned, obviously away next weekend in the Cup at France. You're playing Dewsbury here in sunny Widnes. Then Saints on Valentine's Day play the Roosters. I know the Vikings are having a match against the Roosters, just a bit of a tick and pass job a week tomorrow. Behind closed doors, it's only Widnes season ticket holders, I believe, that's allowed in and what have you. But that should be, obviously they did a bit of a warm-up, don't they? They wanted to play the Vikings in a proper match. The rugby league here wouldn't sanction it, and that's how they go. I mean, Saints haven't had, they'll have one game under the belt against in the Cup, but we've just got to get on with it, haven't we? Widnes have the possession, the Saints are dabbing through on the sixth tackle.
Yeah, it was good, good pick-up. I think Giles, the player that picked it up under a lot of pressure. Sheridan can't get the ball out. Stout. Good work. Good effort by the young player. McCurry takes the ball in, and Widnes just driving forward in ones at the moment, not been able to give the ball any air. A high kick by Sheridan. Good chase by Sexton, winger. A mistake. It's got to be a knock-on. Well, the fans, Saints fans, not happy about the knock-on, but I think it did go in a forward motion, forward movement. Andy Hughes on for Kirkpatrick for St Helens. The Widnes warming up Dion Bird on the bench. He's about to come on in a red head guard. Widnes will take the scrum first. Blindside attack. Sheridan. Well, sure who the player is underneath all that, but he caught the ball on his hip. Widnes just trying to get a bit of fluency in the game at the moment. Good face ball to McCurry. Again, the Saints youngsters tackling well. Short side attack. Again, can't break the line. Now Sheridan standing deep behind the line, but it's gone to the blind side. It's a try. And I must admit, I took my eye off that. I've got a bit of a pole in the way here. But I was just looking at Sheridan. I was expecting a move to come on. The Vikings finally managed to break the St Helens line. Steve McCurry's walking over to the touchline. It was Jason Demetriou who went over in the corner. Well, bird on for Steve McCurry.
And Adam Hughes looking for the conversion. 18 points to 6 with this to come. Right across the
18-6. Good long kick. Percival can't get there. Well, he gets there, but he can't take it. Well, Widnes had to pick the ball up eventually. It was a good kick. Demetriou couldn't get his hands to it. And the two Widnes defenders couldn't take it cleanly. It was a hard one for Percival to get to.
Yeah, I wonder, he'd already signalled her, hadn't he, referee Kirkpatrick, and yet the ball hadn't been picked up. If Saints had come through, I wonder what would have happened. We'll never find out. Gareth Lloyd flips the ball up. Bruce Johnson, recent substitution. He's on. Now again, Lloyd. Trying to go on his own. Solid tackling the well. We've seen that penalised before this afternoon. The Saints going one at a time. Dave Vass trying to move it up. Once again, Johnson, 20 metres out. Widnes urged to get onside. They are. They're lined up with the referee. They break quickly as Saints try to move it over to the right. Looking for runners. Missed out there. Knocked down by Widnes player. Well, I felt that was knocked down by a Widnes player in the first instance, which would constitute a knock-on. That's the way the referee reads it. He's given head and feet to the Saints. The Widnesian public are not happy with that. The ball was moved out. A Widnes player, for me, actually knocked it down. That's a correct decision. Head and feet to the Saints. But there again, we all have our opinions, don't we? Chris May, driving forward. Good tackling by McDonald, didn't take the dummy there. Steve Maiden had come through with it. Drop-off ball by Anderton. Big hit. My word, what a collision that was. Saints pressing. On this left flank. Hill unloads. Bruce Johnson, 2 metres short. Last one of the sequence. Good line out by Widnes. Anderton puts it through. Welting. Super pick-up that was, Gary, wasn't it?
It was a fantastic pick-up. Low ball, under pressure. Great work. But I must say, only from a Widnes point of view, I thought that ball went out in the tackle before, and surprised to see the knock-on given, but Widnes survived. Another St Helens onslaught. Robert Ralph comes on from McDonald. 19 minutes left in this game. Good kick, deep kick over the top. It forces Steve Rowlands to turn. I think it looks like Robert Ralph has gone into the pack, and Jason Demetriou will probably move to stand-off as he did against Wigan to allow Dion Bird into the centres.
Yes, obviously reshuffling the Widnes ranks, reshuffling the Saints ranks with the interchange. 18 points to 6 to score. We're in the last quarter of the game. In bitterly cold conditions here at the Halton Stadium. A good run out, obviously, for a lot of youngsters, for the Saints head coach to rule the roost over. It's nice to see a lot of the youngsters coming through, and Saints have signed quite a few at the back end of last season and the beginning of this season. Holding down there in the tackle, penalty, Sheridan takes it quickly. Good yardage there made inside Saints territory, and Widnes will build up again.
Yes, it was a very good kick. Incidentally, I must just mention that Paul Ansford, his birthday today, I believe. He's 40 years old, big lad. Been with Widnes man and boy, various capacities, and no doubt he'll be out celebrating tonight, whatever the final outcome here. Well, penalty for interference at the play the ball by St Helens. Sheridan, short ball to Robert Relf. It was a good tackle. Sheridan again is in the hub of everything. Demetriou, cross the line, good ball, and it, oh, chance for Percival. Well, I don't know how the St Helens lad managed to get him down there. He seems to slide into him. Percival just stopped short. Bird, dummies, can he get the ball down? He's lost it. Oh well, the dummy seemed to open the gap for him, but it was a great recovery by the St Helens player, and as Bird reached out to put the ball down, he was pulled back and lost possession.
Yeah, it looks as though he'd put the ball back for me. The referee's given a knock on. I don't know, obviously, we're on the angle here. Gary, I know you said he was reaching out, and it just seemed to come back. But we'll not dispute the decision. Anderton feeds. Saints could do with trying to move it out. Not been a lot of space for the Saints, only one try. An individual effort by Anderton, goal by Picton. So Jones and Hill off. Costello and Brown on. 18 minutes remaining. Last one of the sequence. Well, that was a knock-on. I thought the Saints allowed to carry on. So it's on the sixth tackle. Can the Vikings unload it? They move it quickly. Holmes is the man. He's taking centre field. Just short of the halfway line.
I think Mr Kirkpatrick giving the sympathy vote there to St Helens, not giving that knock-on. Just allows them to get the kick in. Good work by Mills. Oh, a great hand up. Well, Sheridan was being pulled back then. Not the best of passes to Dion Bird in the end by Mills, but Sheridan was certainly being pulled back as he attempted to support Mills. Good work by Mills initially, but he did the hard work, and then Widnes lost possession. Certainly an infringement though, but Mr Kirkpatrick, well, he's not got eyes in the back of his head, I suppose. But that's what touch judges are for, isn't it? Forward pass, well, silly. I think only when, especially the forwards, you know, you work hard to get the ball back, and then you sense that size an impossible pass, and it's very disheartening when that happens, isn't it?
Well, it is, obviously, you say you get the ball there, you come. I know the idea, obviously, try and get the ball out, but it was a no-win situation there. It looks as though he was going to try and pass it round the man. It went yards forward, and it's annoying on the first tackle. Widnes have the possession again in a good attacking position.
Coming to the short side. Millard, that's Daniel Frame, I think, in possession. Robert Ralph going for the sticks. Powers forward, even in the tackle. Legs pumping. Sheridan has got men inside and out. Good defence by St Helens on Jason Demeter as soon as he caught that ball. I think Widnes tending perhaps to go a little bit too sideways at the moment in this game. Final one for the Vikings. Puts a bomb in. Oh, it's a lofted kick. It's behind the line. He's lost it. Well, he was under a lot of pressure, and I think Ronnie did well in the end to just knock it backwards into dead.
Yeah, he did, Gary. He was under a hell of a lot of pressure. He was backpedaling, bounced off him, but he managed to second bite to the cherry, put it over the dead ball line. Another set of six for Widnes to drop off the Saints between the sticks.
Williams on for Kilgannon. St Helens. Widnes have got Julian O'Neill warming up again. And O'Neill on for David Mills. Daniel Frame just juggles with the ball, manages to get it out. Ralph keeps the move going. Now a short pass. Well, it's a long pass. Holmes with a chance on the outside. Oh, Hughes bombs it, and a chance now for St Helens. Good recovery tackle. I don't know if it was a bad pass to Hughes or just a mistake by Adam Hughes. But Widnes with a clear-cut chance there, and I thought the short ball off Sheridan would have been the best option.
Yeah, maybe so, Gary. Obviously, with hindsight, I mean, it overlap again. It's about 5 or 6 times that the Vikings have had the overlap on the Saints, and yet just not being able to make it count, thankfully. Still just a 12-point cushion. Saints done well to weather the storm. They're 10 metres short of the halfway line, still in possession. The ball knocked down by Widnes there. And the referee indicates that scrum down 10 metres inside Saints territory. Head and feed to the Saints. And Widnes player down injured. Very difficult. Underfoot. The natives getting restless on the far side, Gary. They're not. I think the Saints natives are not overly impressed with the Widnes performance.
Well, there's still a few more players coming to this Widnes side. Stuart Spruce, for example, isn't here. We're hoping that there may be a signing of a standoff to come, because Widnes, without a recognised standoff in the absence of Carter, and you know, I think you've got to be realistic about these things. Although the players will go out there and do a job, certainly won't be as fired up as they would be playing in a Super League match against St Helens, for example. And you've got to give credit to Saints. The young lads have done well, and I think the coaching staff have obviously put together a game plan to slow the Widnes game down, lying on as much as they can, which is fair enough. We all do it when we can. And it's paid dividends. It's worked well for Saints, because it's just broken up the fluidity of the Widnes attacks. Nevertheless, the Vikings still 18-6 ahead. Widnes again with an overlap, and again a bad pass. And I think, Ronnie, that's partly of what I'm talking about. I think if this was a Super League game, besides the fact that Widnes might not be leading 18 points to 6, I don't think you'd see players trying to throw balls like that in a Super League match.
Maybe not, Gary, but as I said, you've had the overlaps. You must have had an abundance of overlaps, you know, 2 and 3 to 1 against, and yet just the final pass failing. Yes, I think if it was Super League, obviously, well, it's a different kettle of fish in a different game. Lots of factors to be taken into consideration. But considering the side that the Saints have on the pitch, a lot of youngsters looking to make the way into the senior squad, and they've done themselves no harm whatsoever. Difficult conditions against a good side. Good pass in there again. Tries for a forward from the far side. And Widnes holding down to the nth degree, just as you say. Saints have had that in the repertoire. All part of the game. You're going to do it as long as the referee lets you get away with it, aren't you? Last one of the sequence. Saints have the ball. They go on the short side. They're actually running it. It's kicked through now. Holmes takes it well. Brings it back centre field. Looking for a gap. Tries to straighten up. Taken down.
Well, he's a nippy lad. Holmes, he didn't play the ball, but he was impeded, says Mr. Kirkpatrick, as he tried to lift his leg to play the ball. He was pushed down by the St Helens player. And again, Sheridan gets some good distance on his kick. Inside the final 10 minutes now. 18 points to 6. Widnes. It's not been a vintage performance, not been a vintage game, but at the end of the day, Ronnie, you can only play the team that is put out against you, and a win's a win. So Widnes will go into the Challenge Cup game with 2 wins under the belt. Again, a misunderstanding with the backs. But I think this lack of standoff is something that Neil Kelly will look to solve as soon as possible, and that's no disrespect to Jason DeVito or Daniel Fame, who played there today and on Wednesday, but you really do need a recognised half-back in that shirt.
Yes, it's game under the belt, as you say. It's match practice, and this is what they all need. I mean, we start early now, and match practice, match fitness is essential for the lads to get underway. As you say, a half-back, we've had the problems at St Helens for the last couple of seasons with injuries to the half-back with Tommy Martin and Sean Long. We've been lucky, we've had Scully in there that's gone into that position for us. Maybe one of you lads will just emerge as a stopgap half-back that'll do the job, Gary. You don't know until Neil Kelly tries to fit one in.
Bird, again the ball cannons off Bird's chest this time. Widnes again lose possession. I've got Henry Paul and Yestin Harris in mind, actually. Neither of them are doing too well or enjoying themselves too much at rugby union, although it might be a pipe dream to ever hope that they'd come to Widnes this season, but wouldn't that be nice?
They'd command a few bob them, wouldn't they, Gary? I mean, we nearly had Yestin Harris at St Helens. About £50,000 was the difference in the valuation, and he never came. He's gone to rugby union, Cardiff, I think. He's playing in the same side as Anthony Sullivan. And as you say, he's not doing too well. Henry Paul not doing too clever either, and he'd want a king's ransom, I think, as well. Class player on his day. The ball released. Widnes have it. Saints were trying to keep it going, looking to get points on near the end. We're talking about six minutes left. Plus any stoppage time, and we've not had much of that, and I'm sure the timekeepers will not want to add much on as it's bitterly cold here, even though it has brightened up a tad.
So the Vikings in possession again, but haven't been too many attacking chances on the opposition line in this half for either side. Sheridan, short ball, oh great work. Oh, but the ball thrown away. Did it come off a St Helens player? Well, I thought when, I think it was Daniel Fame who lost the ball, I thought when he passed it back it hit the back of the St Helens player. But he's given a knock on, and there's 5 minutes left, and let's hope it's a quick 5.
yeah, you're dead right. Glad to get home in front of the fire. When at your age, it could be fatal, Gary. You've got to watch it, you know. But yes, Saints win the ball from the scrum. They are trying to spread it out. They're trying to get points on the board, obviously. Still could snatch it at the death. 2 quick tries, 2 quick goals. But it's a hard slog up the pitch. Still trying to keep the ball going, doing what they know they can do. The ball's gone back. Well, the ball's now come out. It scores out. Whether it was reaped out, it's not given that way. The Vikings have the possession, and he's driving up.
Well, perhaps a final chance for Widnes to attack. Gets some final points on the board. Sheridan. I think that's... Is it Jason Demetriou in possession? It's hard to tell from here. In the fading light. The ball, well, pops out. Well, I think he's given the forward pass. And I'm certain, I don't know if the St Helens youngsters might have enjoyed the experience today, but I put money on the fact that the Widnes lads now will be just glad to get in and have a shower and a cup of tea and a pint.
Yes, a forward pass given there. A lot of flat balls, as they say, suspect passes, obviously pinpoint precision as Ryan Sheridan would like it to be stated. But he's a class act there at scrum half, and obviously he didn't fit in at Leeds. They let him go, as they did with Andy Hay, veteran forward, still can do a job. The build-up to Super League continues. A round of the cup for both of us this weekend. Saints have the possession. It's the last one of this set of 6. 10 metres still inside their own territory. Anderton puts it high, centre field. Percival takes it, looking for a space. Taken down centre field. About 2 left, Gary.
Yes, 2 minutes left, Dion Bird. Oh, he finds good space. He's got support. Will he need it? Great tackle by the fullback. Good support from Sheridan. Quick play the ball. Great run by Dion Bird. He had Millard in support, but he couldn't find him. And, well, Widnes again lose the ball with 1 man to beat. And it's frustrating, I'm sure it's frustrating as well for the players. Incidentally, obviously it's due to be at home next week in the Challenge Cup. Super League 8 starts on the 23rd of February against Leeds away, and the first home game, again, will be here. Will be against St Helens on the 8th of March, so that's something for us all to look forward to, Ronnie.
Yeah, Saturday night that, Gary, I think, isn't it, in front of the Sky cameras. 6 o'clock kick-off. I think the Saturday, as was the opener last season. Saints still in possession, just can't evade the Widnes tackling. Yeah, might do. Saints put the ball downfield. Holmes, we gather it. We've just been discussing as the PA man's been on about this scrimmage game against the Sydney Roosters. They play here a week tomorrow, the 10th of Feb, just to get a little bit of match practice under the belt after the 13,000-mile flight from Australia before they play the Saints at the Reebok on the 14th, Valentine's Day. But Widnes, will they finish this game in possession? About 30 seconds on our watch. Still driving it forward, only 1 score in this second half. It's 18-6 for the Vikings.
Daniel Frame now, he puts a turn of pace on. Good inside ball, and Jason Demetriou will score under the sticks for Widnes. Well, a final flurry from the Vikings. Good inter-passing, good work by Daniel Frame. He looked for his support players. There were players on either side. And nice to see Widnes finishing with a score. The kick surely the kick will go over. Demetriou under the sticks. players, size, Percival, Anderton for Saints, Farrell, Hughes, and 2 for Jason Demetrius to finish off with. Just the 2 conversions for Hughes, 1 for Picton. I think both sides will take a lot out of that. The Saints youngsters did well, and the Widnes players, as I say, warmed up, match practice, match fitness, but season proper starts next week in terms of the Challenge Cup here against Dewsbury, and then the 23rd of February, Leeds away. Michael Vigneault will be there to bring you all the action. We'll see you then.